Hello. Welcome once again to the live feed. Coming to you live and direct from the Intertubes. As usual, let me just drag this window over here. As usual, if you're tuning in when it's no longer a live video, look at the description. There'll be a timestamp for the quiz, the questions themselves, and you can avoid the waffle at the beginning. But in the meantime, I'm going to spam this out on the channel and various other places. Beginning with Facebook. Not that. Facebook. Hello, first person to tune in. You need to get the URL, to spam the URL, copy the URL. Okay. How do I reply? I'll leave it. Here it is. Spamming the page. Okay, cool. Cool. Righto, as my crappy second monitor very slowly warms up. We'll be starting in about a bit under 10 minutes, I guess. Mm-hmm. 21 new messages in the page's inbox. That's exciting. Right. Today is Tuesday, right? Today's Tuesday. Good. Okay, where else do I need to post about it? In here. Hello, Pierrot. Starting to wonder if anybody was going to tune in. It looks like we got 5 people. So hello, 5 people. What the? Shut my clipboard. Anyway, there we go. Right. It's posted there and there and there. And I guess there's one more place to spam it. Here. Hello, everybody who's tuning in. I'm assuming you can hear me okay. The blue light is on my microphone, which is always a good sign. Hello, Nikki. Ooh, I've got sound turned on. That's annoying. Let's get rid of that. Hello, Carmen, and presumably John. Okay. Right. Now I just need my questions. Hope everybody's keeping well. That's my questions document, which hopefully has this around it. It does. Good. Cool. One of these days I'm going to open that up and Dropbox is not going to have worked and things are going to go horribly wrong. But anyway, I'll deal with that if and when it happens. Right. So what time is it now? 7:29. We'll be starting in about 5 minutes or so. Get rid of all these annoying messages. Hello, Narelle, and presumably Stephen. Tonight I'm drinking Little Creatures XPA again, which I've become quite a fan of. Still the original 6-pack that I bought and I had last week. That's how much of a heavy drinker I am. But it's pretty good. Pierrot had smoked ribs today. Did you smoke them yourself, Pierrot? I'm assuming so, based upon what I know about you. Hello, Kim and Meg and Paul. Kim, when you say hello, James and Meg and Paul, are you meaning that Meg and Paul are with you, or you know that they're tuning in but they don't say anything? Right. Well, you find me in an odd mood today, I have to say. I took a day off work because my wife and I were going to go to our accountant for our yearly do all our tax for our various small businesses and things. And then his secretary rang and said that he was not well today and we couldn't go. So I just basically spent the day messing around, geocaching and bushwalking and doing various things. Meg and Paul are in Sydney and I'm in Port Macquarie. We ring and do it together. Excellent. That's what I like to hear. People playing with their friends, with/against their friends. Yeah, so today was a bit of a strange day, but anyway, it is what it is. Hello, Joan. And the other news I have is that on Sunday I did the virtual City to Surf, which is a big fun run that happens in Sydney every year. I've never done it before, never done anything like that before. But this year they did it virtually, and Work did a thing where they would pay for the fee. If you joined their team, they would pay for the fees and would send you a t-shirt and a snack box and stuff. So I foolishly said, sure, I'll do that, like a month ago, and then forgot about it. And then started getting messages saying, okay, now you need to run 14 kilometers on Sunday. So that was fun. My legs still haven't quite recovered. I was aiming for 2 hours and I did it in 2 hours, 1 minute and 29 seconds, which is a little frustrating, but still happy that I did it. It was good fun. I did it somewhere flat rather than trying to simulate the actual City to Surf course. Yeah, it was done kind of a virtual, do it in your own kind of space thing this year, because you couldn't do it all together because of COVID. So that was kind of cool, something a little different. But yeah, I've been walking like an old cowboy the last 2 days. G'day, Jill. Yeah, my thighs and calves and hips and basically everything below the waist is pretty much shot. Hockey tournament, didn't go that well. My team is coming from a new small rink, so they're all kind of beginners. And we're trying to sort of build up hockey at that new small rink. So the highlight of our tournament was a draw, I have to say. But that's all right. We all had fun. We all learned a lot. We'll come back better next time. We didn't have any injuries, which is good. Right, 7:34. Probably about time we get started, I suppose. So give the usual blurb. This is, in case you haven't played before, or in case you have played before but you've forgotten, this is basically your standard pub trivia, but no pub due to COVID. It's going to be 3 rounds. The first round is 20 questions of relatively easy, not super easy, but relatively easy trivia. And then I give you the answers. Then we have round 2, which is less difficult questions, 20 less difficult, no, less easy, more difficult questions for round 2. And then I give you the answers to those. And then we have our round 3, which is only 10 questions, but they're all either very difficult or very obscure or trick questions or just silly or whatever. So if you get any points in that round, you're doing pretty well. And then we'll have a couple of Who Am I's at the end, and that'll be the end of it. So it's not the kind of trivia where you need to be the fastest person in the comments or anything like that. You basically just keep track of your answers yourself, mark yourself off when I give the answers at the end of each round, and feel free to post your answers into the YouTube comments if you like, or don't. That's fine. Play against your friends if you've organized it in advance, or just play against the quiz, or just Google the answers as we go along. I don't really mind. But please refrain from posting the answers into the comments because you don't need to do that. And it kind of spoils it for everyone. Except for the Who Am I at the end. You can do that. You can post your answers for the Who Am I at the end, and the first person to put it in the comments gets the admiration of their peers. So with no further ado, it now being 7:35 on the dot, let's get started with round one. Question 1. What kind of number is only divisible by itself and 1? Hello, elated Matt. What kind of number is only divisible by itself and 1? Question 2. Let me just keep a window open on the Facebook page in case anybody's asking where the link is, as sometimes people do. Question 2 of round 1. The Bathurst 1000 was run over the weekend. Which title sponsor of the event has been dropped for future events? And for a bonus point, who will be the new title sponsor? So the Bathurst 1000, that's, Australia's premier motor race, as they say, although I'd say probably the F1 is. But anyway, Bathurst 1000 was run over the weekend. It used to be called the something something Bathurst 1000, but the event has dropped their title sponsor and has brought on a new title sponsor. Much to there's a fair bit of publicity around it anyway. It was in the news this week. So question 2 is, which title sponsor of the event has been dropped? So what's the name of the company that has been dropped from the title? And for a bonus point, who is the new title sponsor? So that's 2 company names we're looking for. Question 3, what word for a shopping center literally means a row of arches? Question 3, which word for a shopping center literally means a row of arches? Now, Pierrot's got me thinking about smoked ribs. What will I have for dinner? Nothing that exciting, I think. Question 4, in the Mr. Men books, what color is Mr. Happy? Question 4, in the Mr. Men books, what color is Mr. Happy? Question 5, which Australian swimmer won the Olympic 100-meter freestyle in 1956, 1960, and 1964? 3 Olympics in a row, and they may well have won the 4th one, if not for something else happening. But question 5, which Australian swimmer won the Olympic 100-meter freestyle in 1956, 1960, and 1964? It's pretty impressive to be on top of the world form for, well, is it 12 years or is it only 8 years? I guess it's only really 8 years, but still. Question 6, which South Park character wears an orange parka which muffles his speech? Just the first name will do. They're all typically known by their first names. I do have the second name written down here, but no, I'm not going to do a bonus point for that, I think. So question 6, which South Park character wears an orange parka which muffles his speech? Question 8, which plant or type of plant has become a symbol Oh, we missed question 7. That's all right. Let's go back to question 7. As is traditional, question 7. In the Chinese philosophical concept of yin and yang, which term refers to a passive or negative principle? So I guess it's 50-50. So question 7. In the Chinese philosophical concept of yin and yang, which term of those two refers to a passive or negative principle? So I guess one is active or positive and the other is passive or negative. Yin and yang, everything's got to be in balance, I think is the underlying message of that philosophy. But which one of those two is the negative of the two? And question 8 now. Which plant or type of plant has become a symbol of an embarrassing silence? So, you tell a joke at the water cooler at work and nobody laughs. Someone might say, make a reference to a particular plant or a type of plant. So question 8, which plant or type of plant has become a symbol of an embarrassing silence? I've seen that type of plant in real life and it's weird. Question 9, which job gets its name from the Latin word for lead? Question 9, which job or trade gets its name from the Latin word for lead? Pierrot says, balanced as all things should be, which I'm pretty sure is a reference to one of the silly superhero movies I have not seen. Question 10, Scotch bonnet, naga, and Bhut Jolokia are all examples of what? I have deja vu about that question. Question 10, Scotch bonnet, Dorset naga, and Bhut Jolokia, all examples of what? My deja vu is unfounded. Yes, they're all examples of a bad time. That's true. Question 11. What name is given to the gait of a horse, that's G-A-I-T, the gait of a horse, where the diagonal pairs of legs move forward at the same time? So question 11, what name is given to the gait of a horse where the diagonal pairs of legs move forward at the same time? So, with horses, they have particular ways of walking or running. They're called gaits. They all have particular names. What do you call it when it's like those legs and then those legs and then those legs and then those legs? That has a particular name, apparently. So what name is given to the gait of a horse where the diagonal pairs of legs move forward at the same time? Question 12. In a normal piston engine, there is at least one connecting rod, commonly called a conrod. This rod connects the piston to the what? Question 12. In a normal piston engine, there is at least one connecting rod, commonly called a conrod. This rod connects the piston to the what? So we're looking for a part of the engine there, obviously. Question 13. US President Theodore Roosevelt popularized the saying, speak softly and carry a what? Question 13. US President Theodore Roosevelt popularized the saying, speak softly and carry a what? All right. Question 14. A ranking system used in karate, judo, and other martial arts uses which three-letter word, which is also a boy's name? So question 14. A ranking system used in karate, judo, and other martial arts uses which three-letter word, which is also a boy's name? Speak softly and carry a teddy bear. I can relate to that. I still have my childhood teddy bear. I don't sleep with it anymore, but I still have it. I've had it since the day before I was born. There you go. Speak softly and carry a slice of pizza. Speak softly and carry a tray of smoked ribs. Question 15. Ceremonial suppers are held each year on or around January 25 in honor of which poet? Question 15. Ceremonial suppers are held each year on or around January 25 in honor of which poet? Have we had any geography questions so far? I don't think so. Question 16. Bram Stoker, best known for his novel Dracula, was born in which country? Question 16. Bram Stoker, which I believe is short for Abraham Stoker, but don't hold me to that. Bram Stoker, best known for his novel Dracula, was born in which country? Am I correct? Abraham Bram Stoker, 1847 to 1912. I was correct. But that's not the question. The question is, in which country was he born? Question 17. Three brothers and a cousin, all with the surname Followill, F-O-L-L-O-W-I-L-L, Followill, make up which Grammy Award-winning rock band? Question 17. Three brothers and a cousin, all with the surname Followill, make up which Grammy Award-winning rock band? There you go. I'm down with the kids. Modern music. It's not all just 80s music for me. I mean, it mostly is. Question 18. Beetlejuice or Betelgeuse or Betelgeuse, but I'm going to say Beetlejuice. Speaking of 80s movies. Question 18. Betelgeuse and Rigel, R-I-G-E-L, are two stars in which constellation? So Betelgeuse, that's spelled B-E-T-E-L-G-U-E-S-E, Betelgeuse, don't know, and Rigel are two stars in which constellation? Who was in the movie Beetlejuice? Michael Keaton, I think, played Beetlejuice. I can't remember who the girl was. Question 19. Carmen says, can I please repeat question 9? Yes, I can. Question 9 was, which job or trade gets its name from the Latin word for lead? That was question 9. But we're up to question 19, which is quite a wordy one. Sometimes when a volcano erupts, so much magma is ejected that the upper surface of the volcano collapses into a roughly circular depression called a what? It's not a crater. Question 19. Sometimes when a volcano erupts, so much magma is ejected that the upper surface of the volcano collapses into a roughly circular depression called a what? It's not a crater. Gina Davis was the girl. And Alec Baldwin. Wow, I don't remember Alec Baldwin being in it. But then I don't really remember much about the movie at all, apart from Michael Keaton being the crazy Beetlejuice character. They're all would like question 8 repeated. Question 8 was, which plant or type of plant has become a symbol of an embarrassing silence? And by symbol, I mean it can be something that people say. It's not just like a written symbol. So question 8 was, which plant or type of plant has become a symbol of an embarrassing silence? And question 9 was, which job or trade gets its name from the Latin word for lead? Question 19, I'll repeat because it was a bit wordy. So question 19, sometimes when a volcano erupts, so much magma is ejected that the upper surface of the volcano collapses into a roughly circular depression called a what? It's not a crater. That's almost a round 3 question, I got to say. Holy cow, it's all repeats. I'll just do question 20 and then I'll do the repeats. Okay, so last question of round 1. Question 20, for half a point each, name the 2 countries or independent states which have square flags. So question 20, for half a point each, name the 2 countries or independent states which have square flags. In fact, hang it. Let's have 1 point each. Let's change that. For 1 point each, name those 2 countries, because that's a fairly tricky question. So question 20, for 1 point each, name the 2 countries or independent states which have square flags. Obviously, most flags are rectangular. I can think of one which is an irregular shape. I think the flag of Nepal is an irregular shape. But name the 2 countries or independent states which have square flags. Okay, now Joan would like question 17 repeated, which was, question 17, 3 brothers and a cousin, all with the surname Followill, make up which Grammy Award-winning rock band? All right, so that brings us to the end of round 1. Let me know if you need any other questions repeated. While I rudely check my phone and check up on the Facebook page, make sure nothing bad's happening over there. Okay. Let me know if you need any repeated. Otherwise, we will go through the answers in about 20 seconds or so. More notifications. Okay, here we go. Let's go through the answers to round 1. Round 1, question 1 was, what kind of number is only divisible by itself and 1? That is, of course, a prime number. Question 2, the Bathurst 1000 was run over the weekend. Which title sponsor of the event has been dropped for future events? That was Supercheap Auto. It used to be known as the Supercheap Auto Bathurst 1000, but it won't be from now on, or at least the next 5 years, because their probably major competitor, Repco, is the new title sponsor of the Bathurst 1000. So for 1 point, Supercheap Auto. For a bonus point, Repco. Question 3, what word for a shopping center literally means a row of arches? It's pretty simple. That's arcade. A-R-C-A-D-E, arcade, just means a row of arches. And a blind arcade is that when you see, just as decorative, there's a wall and there's arches that don't lead, there's nothing behind them, it's just the wall. They call that a blind arcade. Question 4, in the Mr. Men books, what color is Mr. Happy? The answer I have here is yellow. And if I Google him, he is indeed yellow. So question 4, the answer is yellow. Question 5, which Australian swimmer won the Olympic 100-meter freestyle in 1956, 1960, and 1964? That was, of course, Dawn Fraser. And if you read her wiki page, she may have won, I guess, the 1968 one as well, except for some shenanigans that meant she was excluded under slightly strange circumstances. But anyway, question 6, which South Park character wears an orange parka which muffles his speech? That is Kenny, full name Kenny McCormick. It's also Kenny who gets killed in basically every episode and magically comes back to life. Question 7. In the Chinese philosophical concept of yin and yang, which term refers to a passive or negative principle? Well, it's 50-50. Is it yin or is it yang? It is yin. Y-I-N, yin. Question 8. Which plant or type of plant has become a symbol of an embarrassing silence? The answer is tumbleweed. You know, you tell a bad joke at the office water cooler and nobody laughs. Someone might say, tumbleweeds. And yeah, I've seen tumbleweeds in real life in South Australia when I went there for hockey nationals. And they're really bizarre. They're these big, dead stick ball things that just roll along, and that's how they spread their seeds and stuff around, I guess. There's tons of them all piled up against the fences in this particular place I went. Anyway, question 9. Which job gets its name from the Latin word for lead? That is, of course, plumber, from the Latin plumbum, meaning lead. Question 10. Scotch bonnet, Dorset naga, and Butt jolokia. Probably should have spelled those. Anyway, they're all examples of chili peppers. I think they've all been at one time or another the hottest chili pepper in the world. And they are ridiculously hot. I think they're all versions of habaneros that have just been bred for maximum stupidity, essentially. I like spicy food. I eat pickled jalapenos like they're M&Ms, but I just don't see the point of those crazy, crazy hot ones. All heat, no flavor. Anyway, question 11. What name is given to the gait of a horse where the diagonal pairs of legs move forward at the same time? That is a trot. So if the horse is moving with its opposite corners, hitting the ground at the same time, I guess you could say, that's called trotting. Question 12. In a normal piston engine, there is at least one connecting rod, commonly called a conrod. Speaking of Bathurst, the main straight there is called Conrod Straight because I guess it's downhill and the engines over rev and blow up and throw the conrods out. Anyway, what does the conrod connect the piston to? It connects it to the crankshaft. Specifically, it connects it to the cam. Well, it's the crankshaft. I mean, the crankshaft is cammed. It has cams on it, but it is the crankshaft. Question 13. U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt popularized the saying, "Speak softly and carry a big stick." Fair enough. Speak softly and carry a big stick. Question 14. A ranking system used in karate, judo, and other martial arts uses which three-letter word, which is also a boy's name? That is Dan. So in karate, you might be a 7th Dan black belt or a 14th Dan black belt or whatever. Question 15. Ceremonial suppers are held every year on or around January 25 in honor of which poet? Well, they generally have a lot of whiskey and haggis and stuff. It's for Robert Burns, the poet Robert or Robbie Burns. And they're called Burns Night. People play bagpipes, etc. Question 16. Bram Stoker, best known for his novel Dracula, was born in which country? He was born in Ireland, specifically Clontarf, which is part of Dublin. I'm doing my trivia. Bye. Question 17. 3 brothers and a cousin, all with the surname Followill, make up which Grammy Award-winning rock band? That is the Kings of Leon. Kings of Leon. You're going to have to take my word for it, or I'm going to have to take your word for it. I assume they're good. They've won Grammy Awards. Question 18. Betelgeuse and Rigel are 2 stars in which constellation? That is constellation Orion. It's kind of easy to spot Orion. There's 3 stars in a row. They're not stars anyway. There's 3 bright objects in a row. And that's his belt. So the answer is Orion. Question 19. Sometimes when a volcano erupts, so much magma is ejected at the upper surface of the volcano collapses into a roughly circular depression called a what? I think that's more of a round 3 question than a round 1 question. But anyway, it's not a crater. It is a caldera. C-A-L-D-E-R-A. So it's a caldera. Craters are formed by a different process, it says here. Okay. 20. For 1 point each, name the 2 countries or independent states which have square flags. They are Switzerland and Vatican City. You've heard that joke about Roger Federer. Someone says to him, what's the best thing about being Swiss? And he says, well, the flag's a big plus. Anyway, that brings us to the end of round 20. Let me know how you went in the comments. Round 17, Stephen 11. Youch. Pierre at 5. Nikki 11. Nice one. Kim 16. Lady Matt got 15, which is better than he thought he was doing. It's pretty good. I've got my Mr. Happy page open, which is kind of throwing me off. All right, we'll get started with round 2. Jill got 15. Lady Matt couldn't think of any square flags. Switzerland and Vatican City. There you go. Davy Jones got 11. Carmen and John got 13. And there are no Facebook messages. Okie doke. Jones says 15. I don't know anything about cars. Well, fair enough. There are a couple of car questions this week. Okay. Let's get started with round 2. In the Dr. Dolittle films, what name is given to the llama with a head at each end of its body? Round 2, question 1. I always do that. I don't know why. Round 2, question 1. In the Dr. Dolittle films, what name is given to the llama with a head at each end of its body? Noel says, Us beat Stephen. Yous beat Stephen. Oh, as in Carmen beat Stephen. Carmen and John. Okay. Question 2. What is the capital city of Fiji? Hey, look, it's a geography question. Question 2. What is the capital city of Fiji? Question 3. So these are a bit tight. Question 3. A famous passage in the Bible is Psalm 23. What is the first line of this psalm? Question 3. A famous passage in the Bible is Psalm 23. What is the first line of this psalm? You occasionally see simply Psalm 23 written on the back of cars and stuff. I have wondered what it was, and I looked it up, and now I know. It's a pretty well-known one, even for non-Bible-y people. Question 4. In Australia, I don't know where I got this information from. That's what happens when I recycle old questions without rechecking them. But anyway, here we go. Question 4. In Australia, how many people are generally on a jury? Question 4. In Australia, how many people are generally on a jury? I guess I'm going to say a federal jury. Well, the State Library of New South Wales gives me the answer I was thinking of. There we go. Okay, fair enough. Seems to be a standardized number. So question 4, in Australia, how many people are generally on a jury? Question 5, which Swiss surrealist painter, sculptor, and set designer who died in 2014 heavily influenced the Alien film franchise? I'm thinking this is a relatively hard round 2. Question 3, we already had. Question 4, we already had. And question 5 is, which Swiss surrealist painter, sculptor, and set designer who died in 2014 heavily influenced the Alien film franchise? Question 6. Which chemical element takes its name from the Greek for light bearer? Which chemical element takes its name from the Greek for light bearer? Question 7. Walt Whitman's poem, "O Captain, My Captain," is about the death of whom? Question 7. Walt Whitman's poem, "O Captain, My Captain," is about the death of whom? Is it who or whom? I should really look that up. I know we've discussed it before, but I still don't quite have the rules straight in my head about when to use who and whom. But I've got whom written down here, so that'll do for this one. Question 8. What is next in this sequence? Rubber Soul, Yesterday and Today, Revolver, what? Question 8. What is next in this sequence? Rubber Soul, Yesterday and Today, Revolver, what? What do you think about that one? I got bitten by a mozzie on the weekend on my finger, and look how much look at that. It's come swollen up like crazy. I think it happens to be right on top of a scar from when I banged my finger many years ago. That's somehow irritated it. It's very itchy. Question 9. The Dominican Republic and Haiti, Haiti, each take up approximately half of which island? What's the name of that island? This is a tough round too, I got to say. So question 9, the Dominican Republic and Haiti each take up approximately half of which island? It's another geography question, but is it one that Stephen knows the answer to? Question 10. Finally, we're back in my wheelhouse, the 80s music. Question 10. Don't Worry, Be Happy was a 1988 #1 hit for which artist? It's his favorite island. Okay. Question 10. Don't Worry, Be Happy was a 1988 #1 hit for which artist? Surely Australia is his favorite island. It's the one he chooses to live on, I assume, unless you're tuning in from Greenland or Iceland. Greenland was a bad example. Iceland is a better example. Pierrot says, my face when I know an answer. Good. Question 10 was Don't Worry, Be Happy was a 1988 #1 hit for which artist? Question 11. What kind of cheese is named after a village at the foot of the Mendip Hills in Somerset in England? Question 11. What type of cheese is named after a village at the foot of the Mendip Hills in Somerset in England? I'll let you think about those for a second or two. Question 12. Elated Matt used to live a few miles from that village. Well, I hope you ate a lot of cheese. Question What are we up to? Question 12. According to the Bible, another Bible question, the body of Jesus was placed into a tomb that had been prepared for somebody else. Who? Pierrot says he only knows of one cheese with a UK name. I can think of several. Question 12. According to the Bible, the body of Jesus was placed into a tomb that had actually been prepared for somebody else. Who? I'll be surprised if people do well in this round, or I'll be impressed if they do well in this round. It does seem quite a tricky one. Question 13. The restaurant chain Nando's started in which country? Question 13. The restaurant chain Nando's, Nandos, with an apostrophe in there somewhere. Nando's started in which country? The village of Coon. I think Coon is named after a person, not a village. Are they going to rename it? I know they were talking about renaming it. I mean, it doesn't bother me if they want to rename their cheese. Fine. I think people are getting up in arms about it. You know, maybe pick something else to be a bit more concerned about. Anyway, question 14. What is an aphthong? Aphthong. What is an aphthong? It's kind of hard to pronounce. Aphthong. Aphthong. What is an aphthong? They did rename Coon. What did they rename it to? I have not been paying attention. Well, cheese-based news is not really something I consume. If I Google Coon renamed, it is to be renamed. I don't know if they've decided on what name it's going to be yet. The cheese was named after its founder, Edward William Coon. We were going to retire the brand name. Doesn't say what it is yet. I mean, fair enough. I guess if it's a term that people find offensive, then may as well change it to something else. It's only a block of cheese, for Pete's sake. Question 15. 2 albums by Queen share the names of 2 films by which comedy group? So I want the name of the comedy group. Question 15. 2 albums by Queen, as in, you know, megastardom rock band, share the names of 2 films by which comedy group? So I want the name of the comedy group, and for 1 bonus point, if you can tell me correctly the 2 names of the albums and the 2 films, you can have 1 bonus point for both of them. So question 15, 2 albums by Queen, it's obviously records released by a band, happen to have the same name as 2 films released by a comedy group. I want the name of the comedy group, and for 1 bonus point, tell me the 2 names of the 2 films and albums. Some questions, when you try and explain them, they just become more complicated than they really are. You'll figure it out. And I'll let you think about that one as well, because it's a little bit tricky. Lots of pages open. All right, question 16. What is the name of the weekly peer-reviewed general medical journal founded in England in 1823? It's one of the most prestigious medical journals. Question 16. What is the name of the weekly peer-reviewed general medical journal founded in England in 1823? Try not to make my trivia too Americo-centric. If anything, I've made it too England-centric this time. All right, question 17. The king of which country abdicated in 2014 after nearly 40 years on the throne? Question 17. The king of which country abdicated, as in, gave up the throne, left the throne, in 2014 after nearly 40 years on the throne? So I want the name of the country. Do I give a bonus point for the name of the king? Why not? Bonus points for everyone. So question 17, the king of which country abdicated the throne in 2014 after nearly 40 years on the throne? Not very well written. Anyway, and for a bonus point, what is the name of that king? So we're racing through round 2, we're nearly at the end. Question 18, all this happened, more or less, is the opening line to which novel? Now, I'm going to make this multiple choice. So is it A, Lord of the Flies, B, Slaughterhouse-5, or C, 1984? So question 18, all this happened, more or less, is the opening line to which novel? Is it A, Lord of the Flies, B, Slaughterhouse-5, or C, 1984? 1984 also being an album by Van Halen. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. Question 19. What did Alexander Fleming discover in 1928, earning him the Nobel Prize? Question 19. What did Alexander Fleming discover in 1928, earning him the Nobel Prize? And question 20, for half a point each. Name the 4 celebrities who provided initial financial backing for the Planet Hollywood restaurant chain. Question 20, for half a point each. Name the 4 celebrities who provided initial financial backing for the Planet Hollywood restaurant chain. So I'd encourage you to not just write down the name of every celebrity you can think of. Maybe pick 4, write them down. In a proper quiz, we'd deduct half points for wrong answers and that kind of stuff, but, it's pretty relaxed. Okay, that's the end of round 2. Let me know if you need any of those repeated. And otherwise, we'll go through the answers in a minute or so. I'll close all the extra pages I've opened while doing bonus points. Get rid of that, 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 and get rid of that. Nikki would like question 8 repeated. Question 8 was, what's next in this sequence? Rubber Soul, Yesterday and Today, Revolver, what? So question 8, what's next in this sequence? Rubber Soul, Yesterday and Today, Revolver, what? I think you can probably work out what the sequence is, but what's next in that sequence? All right, if nobody else needs any questions repeated, we can start going through the answers to round 2. It's only 20 past 8. I'm racing through the questions tonight. All right, let's get through the answers. Round 2, question 1 was, in the Dr. Dolittle films, what name is given to the llama with a head at each end of its body? That is a push-me-pull-you. A push-me-pull-you. Question 2, what is the capital city of Fiji? That is Suva. S-U-V-A, Suva. Question 3, a famous passage in the Bible is Psalm 23. What is the first line of this psalm? It is, the Lord is my shepherd. I think it goes on, I shall not want, he leadeth me into green pastures, etc. But the first line we wanted was, the Lord is my shepherd. Question 4, in Australia, how many people are generally on a jury? That is 12 people. Question 5, which Swiss surrealist painter, sculptor, and set designer who died in May 2014 heavily influenced the Alien film franchise? That was, of course, H.R. Giger, G-I-G-E-R, H.R. Giger. If you just had Giger, that's fine. And if the spelling wasn't quite right, that's also fine. Question 6, which chemical element takes its name from the Greek for light bearer? That is phosphorus. Phosphorus. Question 7, Walt Whitman's poem, O Captain, My Captain, is about the death of whom? It's about the death of Abraham Lincoln. Question 8, what's next in this sequence? Rubber Soul, Yesterday and Today, Revolver, and what? Well, the sequence is Beatles' studio albums. And next in that sequence is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Question 9. The Dominican Republic and Haiti each take up approximately half of which island? That island is called Hispaniola. Hispaniola, 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 which is also the name of a ship in a particular thing. Is it in Peter Pan or something? Is the Hispaniola? Anyway, answers on a postcard. Question 10. Don't Worry, Be Happy was a 1988 #1 hit for which artist? That was, of course, your friend and mine, Bobby McFerrin. Bobby McFerrin. Name another Bobby McFerrin hit. Tumbleweeds. Question 11. What kind of cheese is named after a village at the foot of the Mendip Hills in Somerset in England? It's cheddar. It's as simple as that. Cheddar. It's the most popular cheese in the world. There's not much call for it around here, sir. Let's not start quoting Monty Python. Question 12. According to the Bible, Jesus' body was placed into a tomb that had been prepared for somebody else. I think the story was that other person hadn't died yet. So they said, well, you can use my tomb because, you know, I'm a big fan of Jesus and all of his work. Anyway, that person was Joseph of Arimathea. So the answer to question 12 is Joseph of Arimathea. Question 13. The restaurant chain Nando's started in which country? Well, it's a Portuguese African-themed restaurant, the peri-peri chicken and all that, but it was actually started in South Africa. Its first restaurant and its headquarters are in Johannesburg. So the answer to question 13 is South Africa. Question 14, what is an aphthong? Ironically, A-P-H-T-H-O-N-G, aphthong, lots of letters in there that you can't really pronounce. An aphthong is a silent letter. Question 15, 2 albums by Queen share the names of 2 films by which comedy group? So the comedy group was the Marx Brothers. So that's 1 point. And for another point, 1 bonus point, if you had both A Day at the Races and A Night at the Opera, you can have 1 bonus point. If you didn't get them both, tough. So 1 point for the Marx Brothers and 1 point for A Day at the Races and A Night at the Opera. Question 16. What is the name of the weekly peer-reviewed medical journal founded in England in 1823? That is The Lancet. Lancet, the Lancet. Question 17, stop touching your face. The king of which country abdicated the throne in 2014 after nearly 40 years on the throne? The country was Spain. And for a bonus point, if you said King Juan Carlos or King Juan Carlos I, you can have a bonus point. To question 17, the answer is Spain. And for a bonus point, King Juan Carlos or Juan Carlos I. Question 18 was multiple choice. All this happened, more or less, is the opening line to which novel? Was it A, Lord of the Flies, B, Slaughterhouse-5, or C, 1984? It was B, Slaughterhouse-5. There is a road near Ulladulla when I drive down the south coast called Slaughterhouse Road, which always makes me think it should be a Johnny Cougar Mellencamp song or something. Anyway, question 19. What did Alexander Fleming discover in 1928, earning him the Nobel Prize? He discovered penicillin. So question 18 was Slaughterhouse-5, in case you didn't get that. And question 19 was penicillin. And question 20, for half a point each, name the 4 celebrities who provided the initial financial backing for the Planet Hollywood restaurant chain. They were Sylvester Stallone, Bruce Willis, Demi Moore, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. So the answer to question 20, for half a point each, the answers were Sylvester Stallone, Bruce Willis, Demi Moore, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. That brings us to the end of round 2. Let me know how you went. I think that was a fairly difficult one, but we had a few bonus points in there, so it'll be interesting to see how the scores go. Don't all rush me at once. Still adding up the bonus points, maybe. Well, the internet has died and I've been talking to myself. Either is equally likely. Matt got 14. Jill got 18. Okay, maybe not that hard. Nikki got 8.5. Not too bad. Davey got 7. I still think it was a fairly difficult round, despite the fact that some people got high scores. Nirel got 12. Stephen got 7. Youch, Stephen. What's going on? Carmen got 8, and she's in Struggle Town. Pierre got 5. Which 5? I demand a recount. I demand a steward's inquiry. That's good. Well done, you. All right, we progress. Kim got 11.5, and Pierre got 5 points for the 5 I got right. Well, that's fair enough. Okay, let's progress to our round 3. Again, this is our quite tricky / obscure / silly question round. If you get any points in this round, you're doing pretty well. Let's see how we go. Question 1. What is Elton John's middle name? Question 1 of round 3. What is Elton John's middle name? Now you may be saying, but wait. Elton John is a stage name. That's true. So the human we call Elton John, he has a real middle name and he also has a stage middle name. And I will give you 1 point for each of those. So question 1 is, for 1 point, what is Elton John's real middle name? And for a bonus point, what is his stage middle name? Question 2. In the Asterix comics, who is the druid who mixes potions? I really like the Asterix comics. They have very clever names. Amazingly, given they're written in Italian, I think, originally. I know we were talking about... let's not have another national language of Belgium incident. Anyway, the fact that they're written in a language that isn't English and they're translated into English and the puns all work, it's good. Anyway, the question is, question 2, in the Asterix comics, who is the druid who mixes potions? What's the name of the druid? Question 3, in which year was the last space shuttle launch? And for a bonus point, what was the name of the shuttle that was the last to launch? Question 3, in which year was the last space shuttle launched? And for a bonus point, what was the name of the shuttle that was the last one to launch? I used to be sad about the space shuttle program having ended, but I'm less sad now that commercial space has taken over and we have all kinds of cool things happening with SpaceX and Blue Origin and all the other companies doing cool stuff. I actually watched a SpaceX launch the other day, and it was pretty cool. It's just like the old ones, just like the old government-run ones, except run by private companies. Probably even better than the government ones. It's an exciting time. Anyway, question 4. Who was the first female inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Question 4. Who was the first female inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Yes, the reason why I can't ask you who was the first one at all is because they do several every year. Right. And in the first year, there were quite a lot. Okay, good. So question 4 was, who was the first female inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Question 5, which mythical creature resembles a winged horse with the head and upper body of an eagle? Question 5, which mythical creature resembles a winged horse with the head and upper body of an eagle? Question 6. General Douglas MacArthur famously proclaimed, "I shall return," on the 21st of March, 1942. For 1 point each, in which city did he make that speech? And which country was he saying that he would return to? So question 6, General Douglas MacArthur famously proclaimed, "I shall return," on the 21st of March, 1942. I have no idea if that's what his voice sounded like. For 1 point each, in which city did he make that speech? And in which country was he saying that he would return to? There's probably a backstory to all that I should probably look up and know about. But anyway. Question 7 is a multiple choice question. In the early 20th century, German scientist Alfred Wegener, I assume that's how you pronounce it if he's German, Wegener, Wegener, or most likely Wegener, proposed which theory which was rubbished by his peers? So it's multiple choice. In the early 20th century, German scientist Alfred Wegener proposed which theory that was rubbished by his peers? Was it A, the Big Bang, B, global warming, or C, continental drift? So question 7, in the early 20th century, German scientist Alfred Wegener proposed which theory that was rubbished by his peers? Was it A, the Big Bang, B, global warming, or C, continental drift? Question 8. What is the third most populous city in the United States? Question 8. What is the third most populous city, as in third largest population, in the United States? Kind of relies on you knowing what the first two are. I think most people can probably get the first one. But anyway, question 8. What is the third most populous city in the United States? Let you think about that one for a sec. While I think about what I'm going to have for dinner after this. Don't know. Probably dumplings. Question 9. In 2013, about 6,000 gold, silver, and bronze medallions celebrating the first year of Pope Francis's reign had to be recalled. Why? Question 9. In 2013, about 6,000 gold, silver, and bronze medallions celebrating the first year of Pope Francis's reign had to be recalled. Why? And you need to be specific. You need to be fairly specific, I would say. And question 10. It's either very loud wind just happened or a truck just crashed outside my house. Anyway, question 10. It's almost a sort of who am I this question, but anyway. What animal am I talking about? Males are called hobs. Females are called gills. A spayed female is a sprite. A neutered male is a gib. And a vasectomied male is a hoblet. Under 1 year old, they're called kits, and a group of them is called a business. So question 10, what animal am I talking about? Males are called hobs, females are called gills, a spayed female is a sprite, a neutered male is a gib, and a vasectomied male is a hoblet. Under 1 year old, they're called kits, and a group of them is called a business. What animal am I talking about? That is question 10 of round 3. All right, let me know if you need any of those repeated. We only have 10 questions in round 3. If you're staring blankly at your screen, having no idea what I'm talking about in that round, that's normal for round 3. As I say, if you get any points in that round, you're doing pretty well. We did have a multiple choice though, so, you know, you've got a 1 in 3 chance of getting 1 point. All right, nobody needs any of those repeated. I'll give you another 17 seconds. Okay, round 3, question 1. We'll go through the answers. Question 1 was, what is Elton John's middle name? So we wanted the real middle name and the stage middle name. Okay, so Elton John's real name is Reginald Dwight, and his real middle name is Kenneth. So Reginald Kenneth Dwight. So 1 point if you said Kenneth. And for the second point, you need to know what his stage middle name is. So his stage name is obviously Elton John. His full stage name is Elton Hercules John. So for 1 point, Kenneth. For the other point, Hercules. There you go. Question 2. In the Asterix comics, who is the druid who mixes potions? His name is Getafix. 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 which is pretty funny for, a druid who mixes potions. Getavix. I guess they're potions that make you feel better. Question 3. In which year was the last space shuttle launched? Well, it was July the 8th, 2011. So the answer is 2011. And for a bonus point, what was the name of the shuttle? Well, we know that it wouldn't be Challenger or Columbia. It was Atlantis. Atlantis was the one that was sort of built together from spare parts and was the last one to fly. So question 3, the answer is 2011, and for the bonus point, Atlantis. Question 4, who was the first female inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Who else could it be? It's Aretha Franklin, of course. In 1987, I think. Yes, in 1987, along with, and she was inducted by Keith Richards. There you go. Question 5. Which mythical creature resembles a winged horse with the head and upper body of an eagle? I think there's one in Harry Potter. Anyway, it's a hippogriff. Hippogriff. Question 6. General Douglas MacArthur famously proclaimed, "I shall return," on the 21st of March, 1942. For 1 point each, in which city did he make that speech? Well, he actually made that speech in Melbourne. And which country was he saying he would return to? It was the Philippines. So question 6, for 1 point, Melbourne, and for the second point, the Philippines. Question 7, in the early 20th century, German scientist Alfred Wegener proposed which theory that was rubbished by his peers? Was it A, the Big Bang, B, global warming, or C, continental drift? It was C, continental drift. It's actually surprisingly recent that we understood how continents move. Anyway, the answer is C, continental drift. 8, what is the third most populous city in the United States? Well, the most populous city is New York. It's no surprise, it's one of the biggest cities in the world. Second is Los Angeles. And third is Chicago. So the answer to question 8 is Chicago. Question 9, in 2013, about 6,000 gold, silver, and bronze medallions celebrating the first year of Pope Francis's reign had to be recalled. Why? If you said they had a typo on them, yeah, you can have half a point, I guess. They actually had the word Jesus spelled wrong. The J was backwards, so it said Lesus, Lesus instead. Somebody got fired over that one, I imagine. Anyway, so the answer is they had the word Jesus spelled wrong on them for the point. If you just said a typo, then, I don't know, half a point. And question 10, which animal was I talking about? All those things. Jules immediately gone for an answer because she her score because she thinks she's got all the points she's going to get. Fair enough. Question 10, that was ferrets. Males called hobs, females called Jills, etc., etc. A group of them is called a business. And as we know from a previous question, ferret is from the Italian for little thief, ferritus. So there we go. The answer to question 10 is ferrets. How did you go in round 3? Let me know. Nikki got 1 point for Chicago. Well done. Pierre got 1.5. Jill got 6. Pretty good. Pretty good for round 3. We had a few bonus points. Kim got 5. Lady Mac got 3. David Jones got 3. Fair enough. Norel 2. Stephen 4. That's a good comeback, but not enough to pull it out of the fire in the third round. All right, we'll press on to our, let's have that Facebook page open for a while, but anyway, I'm sure that doesn't matter. Earl 31, Stephen 22. A drubbing. Hello, Gail. Okay, we've done round 3. Now it's time for the Who Am I? So if you're in a tiebreaker situation, unlike, for example, Norel and Stephen, then you can use this as a tiebreaker. I'm going to read out. That's exactly what he said. A drubbing. I'm going to read out clues about a person, or place, or a thing. And if you think you know who I'm talking about as I go along, have a crack at it. If you get it right, you win the tiebreaker. If you get it wrong, you lose. The other person wins the tiebreaker. So you want to be quick, but you must be correct. So we'll make the first one the official tiebreaker, and then we'll do another one afterwards just for a bit of fun. Okay. Which one will I do as the tiebreaker? Let's do this one. Okay. Who am I? I was born in 1973 in Hartford, Connecticut, but grew up in Phoenix, Arizona with my 5 siblings. I attended Brigham Young University. And by the way, you can post the answer to this into the YouTube comments if you like. I attended Brigham Young University and received a BA in English in 1997. I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I am a teetotaler and a non-smoker. My only professional work was as a receptionist in a property company, but I had a dream in 2003. Despite never ever having written a short story before, I embarked on writing a novel based upon this dream. I never intended to publish this book, as it was purely for my own enjoyment. My sister, however, loved the story, persuaded me to send the manuscripts to various agents. I became the biggest selling author in the world in 2008 and 2009, with my novels based upon this dream about a vampire falling in love with me. This dream, of course, formed the basis of my Twilight series of novels, with the surname beginning with M-E-Y-E-R, Meyer. I am Stephenie Meyer, who wrote the Twilight novels. E.L. James Harris, we had a few guesses along the way. It's funny, that one was almost too easy or too obscure. I don't know. Anyway, we'll push on to the next one. Now, this one's a little bit different. This one's quite a long one. And what I want to know, the answer to this one is, who is this speech about? So I'm going to read out a speech. So I don't want to know who is giving the speech. I want to know who the speech is about. So what the person is talking about. All right, have a crack. See how you go. So here we go. Who am I? Who is the subject of this speech? Friends and comrades, the light has gone out of our lives and there is darkness everywhere. I do not know what to tell you and how to say it. Our beloved leader, the father of the nation, is no more. Perhaps I am wrong to say that. Nevertheless, we will not see him again, as we have seen him for these many years. We will not run to him for advice and seek solace from him, and that is a terrible blow, not to me only, but to millions and millions in this country. And it is a little difficult to soften the blow by any other advice that I or anyone else can give you. A madman has put an end to his life, for I can only call him mad who did it. And yet there has been enough of poison spread in this country during the past years and months, and this poison has effects on people's minds. We must face this poison, we must root out this poison, and we must face all the perils that encompass and face them, not madly or badly, but rather in the way that our beloved teacher taught us to face them. The first thing to remember is that no one of us dare misbehave because we're angry. We have to behave like strong and determined people, determined to face all the perils that surround us, determined to carry out the mandate that our great teacher and our great leader had given us, remembering always that if, as I believe, his spirit looks upon us and sees us, nothing would displease his soul so much as to see that we have indulged in any small behavior or any violence. So that was a speech by President Jawaharlal Nehru on All India Radio, announcing the death of Mahatma Gandhi. And it's quite a nice little speech when you think about it, because he's basically saying this crazy guy shot our beloved leader, but our beloved leader taught us non-violence, right? So don't all flip out about it. Don't become violent and turn on each other. We have to respond, I guess, without violence. Anyway, so the answer to that one is Mahatma Gandhi. We had a few guesses along the way. Karl Marx, yeah, because it starts with comrades. I thought a few people might go for that one. Lenin, Stalin, nope. It's Gandhi. All right. Well, that was quite a long one. But hope you had fun. Hope you're keeping safe. That brings us to the end of the quiz for tonight. I've got some stuff going on next week, which is going to be quite a busy Monday, but I should still have time to put the round together over the weekend. So we should still have another round as usual on Tuesday night, I would think. Narelle 1, Stephen 0. Man, she keeps track of everything, Stephen. All right. See you all next time. Like I said, stay safe. Fun as usual, even for Stephen. Thank you, Matt. See you next week. See you, Joan. See you, Jill. See you, Pierrot. See you, Narelle. Go Tigers, says Narelle. Yes, go locally affiliated sporting team. Do the ball. See you, Carmen. Bye, everybody. See you next week. Bye.